Our trip to Boston took about 3.5 hours or so. Good weather, but we left too late, and we got into Boston during rush hour. Never again. Our daughter Dag and her husband Tom own a tiny house in the center of Cambridge, a terrific location, and they have done a great deal to the house, and it's now a little jewel. We are going to spend 3 days there, and there's also a dog by the name of Sam and a cat called Mina. A visit to the Museum of Fine Arts was an absolute must. This is a view of the inner courtyard from outside. It's quite elaborate, and it's very modern. There were many instruments on display, and for instance this old piano-like gizmo with an attached bellows that I suppose a servant had to operate while his or her highness was playing. And this is a harpsichord that goes back to the 17th century. I hope you can read the attached plaque. It explains in detail about the instrument. Now, this thing is something else. It's a kind of harmonica, but you had to use your arm to activate the bellows while you played. I took this picture because this piano is just gorgeous, and it's from the 1800s. Of course, there were many more interesting instruments, and some of them are quite weird. And this here is the main entrance hallway. Here we have an inner open space with room for tables and chairs where you can get a snack and a cup of coffee. Now this is a close-up of the Sutter tree. It's a tree sculpture, and it was kind of intriguing. We went around it a few times and had a look at it close up. Now this here is some questionable artwork. The girl on the cow looks like a wannabe. Gee, what's her name? You know, the naked chick with the long hair? I forgot. This picture turned out a bit dark, and I tried my best on Photoshop, but then we were not allowed to use Flash. And you can see that the same vase in the picture stands right next to the picture itself. I'll let you look at the next few slides on your own. Just know that the artwork is delicately done, and it's a real pleasure to look at. This huge canvas has had some major damage, and it is being restored. And this sign tells you what the next step in the restoration is going to be. Now this little statue is something very special. You really have to see it to believe it. It is the statue of the Emperor Hadrian, who lived in the 6th century. It's made of calcite crystal and calcite marble and gilt bronze, and it was made back in the 16th century. This is a vase of blown glass. It wouldn't hold a drop of water, but then it looks good. This plaque gives you details and the name of the artist. This is a very old statue of King Menkora, who reigned from 2490 to 2472 BC. Here's another view of a hallway lined with paintings. An interesting old tea set. And this here is the only Degas we were allowed to photograph. The others were shown as a special exhibit. And by the way, I thought this one was the best of the lot. I really did not think too much of the others. They were all sorts of nudes and usually fat and ugly. This is a bowl made of pine mosaic. And this brings us to the end of part 1 of our journey.